This is Majo John Madden on location in Hidalgo County, Texas, between the big city of McAllen and the big Mexican city of Reynosa. We are 4 miles from the McAllen Hidalgo Reynosa International Bridge, which we have crossed maybe 3 weeks ago. We're next to the Walmart here, and our van is in the pharmacy drive-through section there, which is quiet. And as you can see, there's a huge construction project going on here. We have parked in the construction projects next to a Walmart at 2 different places, and I like to say nothing's happening with any of them. And those two, there was nothing happening. But even though there's no action today or yesterday, there is big action here, because when we were here 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were laying pipe. Big pipeline. Some kind. Could be a sewer system. I don't know what it is exactly. And you can't see it anymore. It's all underground. It's all been covered. And those big black things out there, you can look down them and see the big pipe underneath. So it's a big project. I have a big project. I have a couple of big projects. One big project I have going now, and my dog is out hunting here. He was kind of in a relaxed way walking with me, but he got a scent. And last time I saw him, he was charging off in these trees here. We may see him with a little luck, but he's on the hunt. Magic, my dog Magic. Yeah, I've got 2 big projects right now. One of them is getting my dispatch out about Matamoros, because we are 47 miles from the Matamoros International Bridge, Brownsville, Texas side, Matamoros on the Mexican side. I know that bridge really well. I've crossed there several times. A week before the kidnapping and murders there, I was stalled in traffic on that bridge for an hour. I got to see details you don't usually see, like the fact that the Rio Grande River, which is like a trickle at that point, is at this time of the year covered with algae. You couldn't see water at all. We've walked across that bridge a couple of times, driven across it. No, we did not get across because we're having trouble with my documents and we got turned back. But I'm hoping to cross. Monday is my target now. So in the meanwhile, I want to get my story out to the media. I know a lot about these border crossings. We will park, now today is Friday, we will park probably tonight or maybe tomorrow at the Nuevo Progreso crossing. Progreso on the Texas side, Nuevo Progreso on the Mexican side. Whereas Matamoros has got 3 crossings. The Gateway International Bridge is the primary one where the kidnapping happened. But I've crossed one of the others also, the old railway bridge. Nuevo Progreso, just about 30 miles west of there, is the Good Times crossing. It's the place where people go to cross into Mexico for cheap dentistry and doctor appointments, and that's what those 4 North Carolina people were doing in Brownsville, was crossing for cheap doctor work. People get their hips fixed and everything. We encountered a young family we park in the huge $2 parking lot at Progreso, where at night it's basically empty. It's a wonderful place for us. But Sunday morning, I encountered a young Texas family who had crossed over to take their boy to the doctor. They just had a routine doctor appointment, but they went into Mexico for it. So a lot of action. Nuevo Progreso, people crossing for get their nails done, and cantinas. It's a good time. Whereas Brownsville, Matamoros is business. We have the maquiladoras on the Mexican side, the American plants assembling autos in Mexico. A lot of that in Matamoros. So it's all business. The Nuevo Progreso site is for fun. Your doctor stuff, cheap doctor stuff, and fun. People go there for the cheap tequila. The cantinas are a lot of fun. We hear the music from the big, I think Santa Fe cantina on the Mexican side up on a hill from where we park at night at Progreso. So we will be there tonight or tomorrow night and then back here. Well, my first attempt to cross will either be here or I might just go across Progreso. Most people do not drive across because it is a nightmare trying to drive down that little street with people hawking stuff and spilling out of the cantinas and begging. It's really hard to drive there. So people mostly park their cars on the US side and walk across. But I might, since I'm gonna be there, it's even possible that I will cross on Sunday, because Sunday will be busy, and that's good for me. Most people, you don't want it busy, but busy is good because they won't check my tags, which are expired. I had a little rendezvous with Hidalgo cops last night. I've been bragging about a couple nights. I parked behind that big bush over by the corner of the building. Just parked behind the bush, and I laughed about, oh yeah, you can't see me. Well, I knew people saw me, but it's so relaxed I didn't think there would be any problem. But somebody did complain. Somebody did complain. So when we came out of the Walmart last night about 10 o'clock, we had 3 squad cars of Hidalgo cops wondering who I was. And yeah, somebody thought that black van, I don't know why they thought a black van was suspicious. But it turned into a very good encounter. We had a lot of fun together. And they did know. But along the way, they did say, your tags are expired. And they even had it wrong. They saw February and they said, you know, your tags have been expired a couple months. Well, it was February last year when they expired. and when they wanted ID, I gave them my Texas state ID and my passport. So they knew I didn't have a driver's license. So they could have done very bad things to me, but they liked me and they were nice Latino people. And what it all ended up with, this show is very old. Police Academy with Leslie Nielsen was on TV. I don't know how many seasons. It was really quite funny show. And it's a spoof of cop shows. And they made fun of the way so many sitcoms would end with everybody laughing. And so there's something totally foolishly gets said, and they all go into laughter, and they freeze it right there at the end of the show. Well, that was the end of our visit. We were all laughing. The one little Latina cop, I said to her boss, I bet he's a sergeant, big guy, I said. But we were all teasing and having fun, so I said, you got to watch that one. She's kind of mean. She roughed me up. She had me up against the vehicle. and he knew I was fun of him. He says, oh, again? She's terrible. You're right. I do have to watch her. So it was a little scary along the way, but it turned out fine. So here we go. It's not beautiful. It's not beautiful, but I like to say that down here, see, this reminds me of Thelma and Louise when they went off the cliff. It reminds me of the Blues Brothers where they jumped the drawbridge. Cars got good pickup. Because I thought we were just going to walk along this ridge the other day. And then we got here, and I'm slowing down. No. How tall is that? That's got to be 40 feet. Camera doesn't show. If my dog was running down there, you could see. That's got to be 40 feet. So I'll step back even a little bit. Signing off from Hidalgo County, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, 4 miles from the Mexican border. And this time, a couple, 3 days from now, I may be living in Mexico. Hopefully, cross your fingers.